What's going on, Duff Daddies and Duff Mamas? It is March 16th, not 17th. It's not St. Patrick's Day yet, though I would love it to be St. Patrick's Day right now. It is not there yet. Welcome to another episode of the Duffin Up Podcast. As always, as I mean in the last two episodes, I have my co-host here with me, Michael Adams. Michael, say hello. That's no. There we go. There we go. We're on podcast form, Mike, so you probably should actually say something instead of just waving to the crowd.
Hey, gotta watch
too. And as always, our third co-host here, Timmy O'Reilly. Timmy, how are we doing today?
Oh, we are good today. Ready for this. Looking forward to this all week. Let's get it rolling right off the bat. Here we go.
Wearing the snazziest Rowback golf polo I've seen in a while. It is impressive. Rowback, please sponsor us so I can get one as well.
Ooh, wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, wouldn't that be nice, baby? All right, let's go right into it right now and go ahead and talk about this unbelievable tournament that we just had at the Players' Championship. My God, I do not want to hear Brandel Chamblee talk about it being the fifth major anymore because he makes some solid points, but I just don't want to listen to it. So we're going to go ahead and see Justin Thomas right here, right now, getting his 14th career PGA Tour win, coming from behind, coming from the second group in here, shooting a 4 under 68 on the day to be able to catch Lee Westwood and Bryson in the early group. I just gotta say, I kind of counted out Justin Thomas after the first day when he did not have a good day. Looked like he was going to be on the cut line with basically all of the other big names this week, which was absolutely insane. But he came in and he just, from day two on, just an absolute masterclass here. Crushed it. I was sitting there like, uh-oh, he's coming in hot. He's coming in good. He's playing great. And there were just times out there when it seemed like everyone else was falling apart and he was just turning it on. Like that hole 18, that tee shot where everyone else, I feel like, would have gone right into the water. And his drive was just being beautiful and nice little right to left. Kept going a little bit, and it stopped right in the middle of the fairway, about 2 feet away from the water. It was just pretty impressive.
I'll tell you, it was a low draw on both. He did it Saturday and Sunday. Low stinging draw, and thank God the shape of the hole was like a J, because his hook he just got it out there enough where it followed the precise flight path of his ball. It was a little scary, but boy, oh boy, it was huge when he did it. You saw him with his caddy after the one on Sunday, right?
My God, just laughing. Just being like, how did that stay in? And thank God it did.
The biggest sigh of relief. Oh my, Jesus Christ. But
that's what's great about TPC, though. A lot of water balls. It's fun to watch.
It is hysterical to watch, and being able to see him do that when other guys like Rory and Xander and pretty much everyone else who tried to play that right to left, water 99 out of 100 times that week. And Justin Thomas got away with it, not just once, but twice. It was an unbelievable event to watch. I was really happy to see JT kind of come out and have these big shots down the line, because it's been a little bit of a rough year for him so far. Obviously, getting into that little controversy at the beginning of the year where he said a very bad word and got dropped by Polo Ralph Lauren, which he deserved to be. There's no room in golf for stuff like that. But at the same time, coming out, profusely apologizing, learning his lesson. And a couple weeks back, too, his grandfather, who was a huge inspiration to him, really helped him in the game of golf as well, passing away, and him actually kind of sticking it out and playing through that round after he found out that his grandfather died. It was really big for him to kind of get back on this, because he was a little bit more up and down over these past couple of weeks. But I was really happy to see him kind of, when he was struggling a little bit on Thursday, really pick it up after.
Oh yeah, and that for your first point was the
little controversy.
The first one was a little, but I'm talking about obviously not no excuse for that. No excuse. He even said it. He said, he learned his lesson. Glad he's back out there. Glad that didn't, shun him for the rest of his life. People make mistakes. That's for damn sure. But talk about timing. He got rid of that polo sponsorship, and who wants a big, huge horse on there walking around the golf course? You know what I mean? Let's talk about new sponsors right now. What's the best sponsor possible that he could do? You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree more with you there, Timmy. Couldn't agree more.
Hack golf. That's right. It's Sonny. If you're listening to this, get JT some hack golf stuff. And then obviously, it's terrible news about his grandfather. And of course, they had to ask it in the post interview, and of course it's getting them all choked up like that. But yeah, terrible news about his grandfather.
I think that people know Justin Thomas overall is a good guy. I think, like Timmy said, he makes mistakes, and JT to be able to come back like this and win in a fashion like this, he's obviously he's a very level-headed kid, and he's still so young. It's good to see him step back in the winner's circle.
No, I completely agree with that. And at 27 years old, he's got 14 PGA Tour victories already. Like, I remember when he was coming up, it was, Jordan Spieth, like his best friend, one of his best friends growing up, and it was going to be him and Ricky Fowler and like all these other guys. And they were like, well, Justin Thomas might get there one day. And he's been smashing the rest of that group so far, just like absolutely been on a tear the last couple of years, and really showing that, his game's working, where he's not the longest hitter. And, Rory even coming out and saying that the reason why he's been struggling recently is he's trying to do what Bryson is doing, and it's just not working for him. Justin never did that. Justin's always played that type of, he's a longer hitter, but he's not a super long hitter. But at the same time, it's consistency, it's ball striking, accuracy. Dude's a master with the irons, like those nice little Titleist irons right there. He's got them going like crazy right now. And I just think it's one of those things where he's going to obviously continue this going. I am not giving him a major title for this. He has one. He does not have two, Brandel Champley. He does not have two, any of the rest of you people who say the Players is a fifth major. Not yet. Maybe one day, but not that.
No way. It has. It's one of those things where it barks like a dog. It quacks like a duck. Whatever the stupid saying is, it has all of the makings of a major. But when someone says how many majors, or do you count it a one in the majors mark? Absolutely not. I'm only doing the Masters. I'm only doing PGA, British, and what's the other one? The
U.S. Open.
Of course,
the hardest tournament in the world.
Everybody knows the Masters starts off the major stretch. I mean, I know that was changed a couple years ago, right? Because Players was moved.
The Players used to be in May, and the PGA used to be in August or September.
Yeah,
so they moved the Players from May to March, Masters in April, PGA in May, US in June, British Open July. And yes, I do call it the Open once in a while. So for all of our listeners over in the UK and Ireland, we do call it the Open once in a while. We'll call it the Open when we get there, but sometimes it's just easier.
It is the Open.
It is the Open, but sometimes it's just easier to call it the British Open on this stuff. So, but actually someone who really struggles at the British Open is Justin Thomas. But back to the winner. Unbelievable play from him. I felt as though, like I said before, perfect course for him, where it's ball striking is needed, the accuracy is needed, and he was just able to kind of get over that hump and walk away with $2.7 million from this event.
Biggest purse on the tour.
I know, it's crazy.
They call it WAD Wednesday, right? They all come in. The checks come in on Wednesdays for these guys.
Oh,
that's right. It comes a text right to their phone. It says, "This is how much money you received at the Players Championship," or whatever tournament they play.
Must be nice.
Especially with that Florida zero state income tax right there. So he's doing pretty well on that side. Always good to win in Florida with that. Probably not the best to win up here when we're all up in Massachusetts. May not be the best tournaments to win up here, so you can skip those. But I mean, an unbelievable event for him. And kind of going back through everyone else, Lee Westwood, little bit of resurgence for the most finely aged whiskey on the PGA Tour right now. The Englishman himself playing alongside his now nemesis, Bryson DeChambeau. Had the 54-hole lead again and couldn't hold it. Now, this is something where I'm looking at and I'm getting a little nervous. Like, are we seeing like old peak Lee Westwood where he's always a bridesmaid and never the bride? And, even though he had a great event, do we start talking about, is he kind of choking away these 54-hole leads now that it's been 2 in a row?
Whatever the outcome is of all of these, there's a difference between old Lee and new Lee. Is that old Lee, I love to hate him. I love to watch him choke. But now we gotta get him a W, my friends. We have to see him win. We have to. Oh my God! I mean, and I didn't get what you meant. What you said. You were just saying a finely aged whiskey, but just watching him, strut around the golf course with his, just happy. He has matured, and I just love his vibe. I love exactly what he's out there doing. Him and his fiance. He's just having fun out there, and this is icing on the cake for him. That's it.
If you look at Lee Westwood in like his mid-20s, like if you think you could run through that guy, you look at that guy now, like right now, I would not want to try and run into Lee Westwood. He is a brick shithouse. Like he looks like he honestly looks like he's stronger than ever.
And when he was in his late 20s, he looked like me. He was a little chubby guy. He was getting up there. But now, he looks good now. No. Now he looks built. He looks scary. Like, honestly, like,
and I think he gives less shits. Like he cares less. Like I think that's gonna, like, I just feel like he's happier now. Like he's enjoying, I don't know. Like he probably doesn't really feel like he needs to win one that badly. Like he obviously really wants to, but nobody's really expecting him to go out and win. So if he does, I mean, obviously we're rooting for that.
Exactly.
Icing on the cake.
And it's just crazy to think about it too, because he even said like he stopped, like he is so much more relaxed that his fiance is on the bag with him. Like I would never expect like that type of answer. I would expect it to be like, yeah, I'm more stressed when it's out there because I'm trying to impress her like the entire time and I'm trying to do well. But I think he's just kind of in that state of mind right now where he's our version of Colin Montgomery. He's out there. He's just like, if I get one now, like I'm 45 years old, I think he is. He's up there. He's got the grays coming in. He's looking wonderful. The finely aged whiskey right there. That's all that matters.
If you want to listen to him on a good podcast, the McKellar podcast, it's good shit. And they're back. They kind of took a break, but they're doing podcasts now, and there's I think a New York Times writer's now replacing one of the co-hosts. But no, Lee Westwood is interviewed in a McKellar podcast a couple like months. I think it might have been during COVID, and you just get to hear him tell you that he cares. Like he's happier. I don't know. You can kind of hear it in his voice.
No kidding. Well, that's good to go. I'll have to go check that out. So let me ask you guys a question. Speaking of him and his wife and his eldest, I'm thinking about this. How do you think that this would work for someone like even though JT is a great golfer, would it work for having to have his girlfriend on the bag? And the reason why I'm asking this is because I think Lee Westwood is in a perfect spot in his life where he has played every golf course at least once, twice. He has the experience. He knows how to handle himself. He knows his strengths, his weaknesses. He has aged like a fine whiskey. So much so that he doesn't need a caddy to do this. He is just playing his game. He's just relying on himself and going out there again, and just having a ball. He's playing golf. I don't think anyone like JT or Jordan Spieth, they need their caddies to provide that extra push for the lack of experience that they have. What do you guys think? I don't know.
Also, by the way, he's 47. Like, what?
I'm driving that boat right there with you, Tim. I'm right alongside you.
I think
for icebergs.
I think at 47 years old, he has no, like, the last fuck he gave about, like, being as good as he is right now was probably 5 years ago. You know what I mean? I think right now he's just kind of in his own zone, probably waiting until he's 50 to get on that Champions Tour vibe. And
Timmy, I'm way in on his if he and his wife, or is it his wife or girlfriend?
Fiance,
I think it's technically fiance, but
fiance.
like
if
girlfriend.
they're vibing, if they're doing the damn thing and she's willing and capable and wants to, like, I think that's absolutely a positive. I mean, how can it not be if there's just kind of less of that? And he doesn't feel like a guy who would blame someone else, but like he's a guy that would take that, but if he messed up. But yeah,
there's no debate in shot making. It's just his shot. What does he want to play? You know,
right.
There's no like discussion going on, and he doesn't need that. He has the experience. He has the, you know, he has that.
And to have that relationship, and be able to handle emotions, like just, I don't know, obviously she does a good job for it. And hey, he's in contention, so we're talking about him. So he's relevant.
Something's working.
It's crazy. I mean, this was the guy who ended Tiger Woods' reign as world #1 golfer in 2010 after Tiger had it for what, 7 years, 8 years?
Right.
Slowed up a little bit, you know, and ever since, I mean, like these past couple of years, you know, he had a second in the Masters in 2016, but I just honestly think he's in a new spot where he just doesn't, he wants to go out there, he wants to play his game, but I don't think he needs the caddies. Like, I don't think he would need a Michael Greller. Like, I think he's at the point in his life where he's like, we're going to go out there and we're going to do our best. If we win, great. If we don't, I'm okay with it. If we'll get a nice little paycheck.
Taking him at the Masters. I said it last podcast. I'll say it again.
That's a good shout right there, honestly. So not just that, but he takes home another cool $1.635 million, adding on to his $1.1 million last week. You know, he's made $2.7 million is a nice chunk of change for 2 weeks of work. So good for Lee. We love Lee here on the pod. You know, as I say, the finest age whiskey. We're gonna call him that. One day I just hope he listens to it and he's just like, these assholes.
He's heard it before. He's heard it.
The one asshole with the red beard just calling me a fine aged whiskey 24/7. That's got to stop. It's just got to stop.
He's got to love that.
Oh, I sure do hope so. It's kind of going through a little bit more of just kind of the top five. We had the lefty, the wonderful Brian Harmon, Savannah, Georgia, born and raised. Plays golf on Hilton Head Island, where I am in the South Carolina once in a while. Big fan. They consider him a local down here. He and the most divisive golfer probably ever, Bryce Campbell, tied for third, 12 under par. Bryson had a 1 under day. You know, he was kind of fine. Obviously, we're going to get into his little mishaps and everyone else's mishaps throughout the week at the Players. But, you know, this is a big win. I think this is a big finish for Brian Harmon because this means he gets invited back to the Players next year. He gets invited into a couple other tournaments that he probably would have been invited to. It's great overall for him. And I think it's great for all the lefties out there that can prove that you too can finish tied for third at the Players Championship.
Why not win?
I don't know if we can. Lefties might not be that good. Finishing out on the top five, we did have Paul Casey, another battle-hardened Englishman who tends to also be the bridesmaid and never the bride. And Taylor Gooch, the young guy coming out, playing well. He had a 6 under round yesterday. On Sunday. So he was tied for the best round on the course and really helped him kind of get up there at 11 under to finish tied fifth. You know, I think it was him, Morikawa, and there were like 2 or 3 other players who also had a nice little -6 round. But overall, you know, yesterday was rough. for most of the players, it was a rough day for them. And this is a nice, not new segment, but we are going to introduce some new Duff Daddies into our Duff Daddy Club. A total of 66 balls went into the water at the 17th hole alone this week. Our first inductee into the Duff Daddy Club is Ben On, who on Thursday put in not one, not two, not three, but 4 balls into the 17th hole into the water. Just could not fix the green, could not get it there. Ended up with an 11. So think about that. He went from even par to 8 over in a snap of his fingers.
Well, do you know why I like Ben On now? Because he did that, he kept good spirits. The PGA Tour on Twitter, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet, but he's like, who out, golfers everywhere, who out there would hit a 12 on 17 at TPC Sawgrass? Ben On, under his name, commented and tagged his own name and then submitted it for everyone to see. It was
That's
great.
Owning it.
It was great.
That's owning it.
Oh, man. It was an absolute day on Thursday. There were 35 balls just on Thursday hit into the water. Like that green, it just seemed like it was a back pin placement, which already right there, like you always try and aim for the middle, but when it's a back pin placement, you think you got to give it a little bit more no matter what. So there were balls just hopping over. Like it was like a couple players would like, put it right next to the pin and it just kept hopping and it kept hopping. And
it wasn't
just
soft. It was not soft.
Oh boy. Patrick Cantley, I think, hit the little island inlet, which was really funny. Like every time a ball ends up there, it's like you got lucky. You got incredibly lucky. And another addition into our Duff Daddy Club is the unbelievable shot that Brendan Todd had on Sunday at 17. Now, this is also a man who hit a hole-in-one, not at 17, but did have a hole-in-one and had an ace during this tournament. He goes out on 17 on Sunday, and he shanks it so bad that it is just an open-faced slice, and it almost goes in on the other island that is in
I
the
saw
pond
that.
there. Do you know that's in play, by the way? So apparently, like, they can take you with, like, a boat, and you have to go hit the shot.
That is the
If it
exact
hits
thoughts
that
that went through
island.
my head. Yep, the exact thoughts.
What did he do? I didn't see it.
Oh my goodness gracious. He literally shanked it so bad that it went over the other island with the tree there.
Did he
Did
he hit it off the island or was it gone?
Oh, it was gone. Nope, didn't even make it. Like it was one of, if not the worst, like par 3 shots I've ever seen. He comes up and he was just like laughing his ass off. He was just like when you hit that bad of a shot, you just gotta be like, okay.
But it came so close. It came so close to that island that it posed the question. It's like, all right, so what happens if it does land on that island? And you just answered it. Apparently, you can play it.
You gotta play. You gotta play it from there.
Ready?
Ooh, imagine that, having to hit off that island, which is probably just all pine straw and flowers. You're not holding the green, no matter what.
All flowers.
Oh, that'd be horrible. So not only did we have those two guys on 17 by themselves, we also had one of the craziest 1-2 combinations off drives I've ever seen in my life. I believe it was hole 3, final round. Bryson DeChambeau steps up, topped it, straight top.
Topped it, 3-wood.
Topped the 3-wood just right in. Everyone was just like, what just happened? Like literally what just happened? Lee Westwood gets up with his driver, crushes a slice into a hazard. He's got to drop a ball as well. And everyone's just sitting there like, okay, is this final group going to like severely fall apart? Because we had some fall aparts that day. Like I know Doug Gim, I think he shot like a 78 or something like that. He was in the second. He was playing with Justin Thomas, and he had a terrible day. Probably just from inexperience, not being there before, like not being in that big of a, not being in that big of an area. But you just watch that, and Bryson gets up to his ball. He has to take a drop because it went to a hazard. A hits it into the woods, catches the cart path. You're just sitting there. He literally audibly said, "What is wrong with me right now?" Like, it is unbelievable being able to watch that. And another big thing, props to the Players Championship for having all of those unbelievable camera angles and having the microphones kind of everywhere so you could actually hear what was going on. So cool. So we'll get into that in a bit too. But those two shots, I was just like, this could be like, I think both of these guys are about to fall apart. And they were very close.
Hear that? Did you hear Faraday? So obviously all week they were talking about the better than most. All they were doing is better than most. So they both hit those terrible shots. Lee Westwood hits it into the drink, and then so it gets real quiet. And Faraday in his English accent goes, "Well, those were worse than most."
That's good.
Dude, I freaking love David Faraday with that Northern Irish wit just going off on people. It's like, and the funniest part is like David Faraday was a good golfer, but like he wasn't as good as Lee Westwood is. Like he was a very good golfer, but he was just one of those guys that, was a pretty normal PGA Tour guy. And he's up there and he is just the absolute meanest when it comes to all of that stuff. He gets brutal and he's just so funny and so witty. And it's just so funny to listen to. And yeah, the worse than most, like I giggled. I giggled a little bit. It was unbelievable.
Oh my God, worse than most. That was a terrible accent. I'm so sorry. Whoever was listening, that was a brutal impersonation of David Faraday. Oh, if you ever listen to this, I'm flattered you're listening, but boy, I apologize.
I think he would have very, very not kind words for this podcast if he ever listen. This podcast is worse than all. Thanks, David. But, having that kind of speaking of like being able to listen to like all of these different areas, one of the things we saw on Saturday too was Jordan Spieth and Colin Morikawa playing with each other. And Jordan Spieth did not see Rory Sabatini in the middle of the fairway. He thought that he had already played through. The Jordan hits his drive and almost whacks him, like legitimately hits off a tree, and it's right behind Rory Sabatini. Rory Sabatini's is not happy. Is very upset, which Rory Sabatini usually is because he just seems like a very prickly person. Goes into the middle of the fairway, puts his arms up, like waves his freaking club all around so Morikawa doesn't hit into him. And then Jordan and Colin Morikawa just have one of the funniest exchanges in between them. It was just unbelievable being able to hear Jordan go, "Did I just hit into Sabatini?" Colin Morikawa's caddy goes, "Yep." He just goes, "Oh God, couldn't pick a worse person to hit into."
I knew nothing about Rory Sabatini.
That's unbelievable.
In his personality, but now we know. Do not get into him.
What's great is the past like 2 to 3 minutes, like everybody can relate to this play. I mean, you go out to your local municipal and it's a shit show. I mean, you got duff drives that are going to hazards where you got to drop a ball, and you got guys hitting into one another. I mean, you're right up my alley right now.
This is our bread and butter.
I was about to say we have that happen to us every time we play Stony Lee. Basically, just getting down. I think it's hole 7 when we're down in the ditch, just balls flying over your head.
everyone's rushing and everyone's playing slow, so it's an absolute disaster.
Oh man, it was just funny, like being able to hear them, like Jordan Spieth going off and just saying like, well, at least he likes me, and I think I'm one of the only people that he likes on tour. So I laughed out loud at that. And then Colin Morikawa is saying he's a little creepy around his girlfriend. I was like, Jesus. Sabatini is getting dragged, and he has no idea. I am sure that after that, he probably did not have very nice words to say to either of them in the clubhouse after they finished their rounds. So good for Colin and Jordan kind of escaping away from that bad boy because that could have been bad.
Well, like golf, if you say you're sorry or whatever, you move on and you focus on your next shot. You know what I mean? We're all human.
Know.
They're all human too.
I don't know if Sabatini would accept their apologies. He was like turned around a couple times and like gave him death stares afterwards. And Jordan just went, "Oh, so it's my fault you hit a bad shot. Okay." And I'm just like, that is the perfect like reaction. Like if I was on the tee box too and I said sorry, like, and then they hit a bad shot and look back at you, I'm just like, I would have done this. I would have said the same exact thing. The same exact thing. Oh man, but unbelievable golf tournament. Unbelievable to watch. What was not unbelievable was our daily fantasy picks for the Players Championship. There's one word and one word only, and you can say woof. So we did have one player in the money. Michael, congratulations.
I barely netted anything.
Out of the $5 bet.
You squeaked it. You squeaked it, but a W is a W.
Richie Wierenski, he did not make the cut. My apologies for anybody who took a flyer on Mr. Wierenski.
It was a rough day. Hey, at least he was the only one that missed the cut for you. I had my two highest salaries, guys, Victor Hovland and Tony Finau, missed the cut. Finau had an awful day. I think Finau was 6 or 7 over on Thursday. Made a little bit of a charge. I think he got to like at one point he was like 2 over par on Friday, and he just started going back down again. And I was like, damn it! Like, you are so close, Tony. You are so close. And then Victor, I know me and you, Tim, we both had him, and it just started out so promising. And then Friday was just like, oh no, he's not gonna make it.
Oh no! I hope no one followed any of my picks except for one. I all but one missed the cut for me, so that's a big last place L for me. Congratulations, Mike, on your net $3. You know,
we're proud of you.
Thank you, Timmy. Thank you. I mean, I have spent quite a bit of money as of late. I just bought a new house, so that $3 won't go nowhere. But I will keep playing DK because you never know, and there's some rush behind it, and it's enjoyable stuff.
Just the reinvestment strategy, man. Just put that next $3 in. Put that next $3 in. So it's all good.
Joining again this week.
Oh yeah,
I'll be back.
That's right, Mike. What's your Twitter profile? Your Twitter profile bio. What is that saying? I like that.
If you don't put a nickel in the machine, you'll never hit the jackpot.
Facts only.
You heard it here first, Mikey Adams.
Lovely little reinvestment strategy from the man himself. Fantastic. Hopefully we'll get to our picks for this upcoming week in a little bit. But boy, Tim, we probably can't do any worse.
We're 0-1. We're 0-1, Mike. 1-0 on to week 2. That's why there's multiple weeks in the PGA season.
Exactly. Just a quick, after a great tournament like that, there was also a pretty good tournament over on the European Tour. Just a quick update for the Qatar Masters. Antoine Rosner, very, very big play. He hit a 60-foot birdie putt on the 18th hole to win the tournament. Unbelievable event. Great for him. We just wanted to throw that in there just for Antoine because we know you listen over there in France. We get one French download every time, and I know it's you, Antoine, so we're calling you out now. But he takes home 190,000 euros, which translates into about 225,000. And the main reason why I want to talk about the European Tour is that my favorite European golfer now, the Danish Dynamo himself, Rasmus Højgaard, the 19-year-old sensation, missed the cut.
What a fun way.
Coming off of an unbelievable 2020 where he won 2 out of his first 5 tournaments. Fantastic. I thought the world of him. He's just got to get back on it. He's going to get there. He's going to get there. Rasmus, if you're listening to this,
don't give up.
You're going to get there. I promise. So big congratulations to Antoine Rosner on his second career win. You know, he'll be back down on the European tour for this week as well. So unfortunately, we will not get to him in our daily fantasy picks, but that's okay because I don't have that much money that I can play with right now. So we will not also be doing European tour yet. Maybe one day, but probably not. DraftKings, if you sponsor us, we'll play every single thing you want us to. Don't worry about that.
DraftKings has taken a couple of my nickels, so you can pump the brakes on big time tournaments. It's risky as all hell.
DraftKings has taken most of my nickels. most of my nickels are in DraftKings wallets right now.
Hey, and let me rephrase, Tim. You asked. I had to go back to Twitter just to make sure I said the phrase a little incorrect. Just want to clarify because it's a little better read when you can't expect to hit the jackpot if you don't put a few nickels in the machine. So that's the one right there.
Is that original? Did you come up with that?
I did not. Cannot take credit.
Damn. It was poetic. Puts a little luster in my step.
Unbelievable, Michael. You give us all hopes that we're probably going to lose a lot of nickels, but maybe one time we'll.
I've been going stock market lately. I've been reading up on the stock market, so I've kind of learned. I know that's a gamble too, but at least
it can be.
Throughout history, it appears that it continues to go up, right?
Stay away from options trading, whatever you do. And that was the Duffin Up stock talk. Who would have thought?
Just a quickie.
We
cover everything here on this podcast. We're actually just options traders that we're telling you not to invest in options, so our options go up. What's an option? Nobody knows. That's what makes it so provocative. Moving on. After an unbelievable event this week, we do know that the Honda Classic is coming up. We're staying down. We're on the nice little Florida swing right now. So congrats to all you Floridians being able to go outside in your lovely weather and go watch golf. Wish we were there with you. Maybe. Sometimes we do. But an unbelievable event right now at the PGA National Course right there in Florida. And last year's winner on this was a young gun himself, although he looks like sometimes he could be like a 35-year-old man. But Sungjae M getting his first career tour victory last year's Honda Classic. What a guy. Big man out of South Korea, crushing it. And where he won this event last year was on that stretch, 15, 16, and 17, known as the Bear Trap. And boy, oh boy, when you look over it, it is some scary stuff. What happens is you have the first par 3, 15th hole, completely covered in water, just basically a lot like the 17 at Sawgrass, but it's not an island green. It's just a regular green. An unbelievable par 3, but 190 yards, very hard to keep on the green, very hard to, you can mess the 15th hole up very easily. 16th hole, you get to a short par 4. The issue with the short par 4 is, once again, there's water everywhere. So most of the guys will hit an iron off the tee. If you really want to go for it, you can try and hit driver down the fairway, but then you got to still cross the water onto the island, onto another green. And 17, once again, you hit another par 3. Again, there's just water everywhere. So if you are not a fan of swimming, you should not be playing this course, because there is water everywhere on these last 3 holes, and it's really a make or break point in the tournament. When you're coming down on Sunday and you got that lead, you hit 15, 16, 17, hold on to your butts because you're going to need to.
Oh, yeah. A whole lot of moisture on these next 3. And I like the first one is always tough, daunting, but it's only, it's like 176 yards or something like that. The next one is like an island tee box to an island fairway to an island green. I mean, holy smokes. That is like, that is just.
Let's go.
I need to bring my scuba gear. And then the last one's 190 yards. They actually played this one on Big Break, which you guys got to watch that.
We're getting in.
That's
our
2
boy
in a row.
Mikey's boy Richie Wawrenski was on Big Break.
Was he?
Oh yeah, we talked about it last week.
Oh, but on this one though,
No. I think he was on Big Break Atlantis or something like that. I forget which one he was on. Actually,
I will say, Sung J M. Let's go back to him real quick. I think on DraftKings he's projected to win, or is the highest.
He is
highest owned, but or highest volume. He's priced the highest. But like he's a young kid. Like I think Lee Westwood. Like I could run through Sung J M. That's what I'm trying to say. Like Lee Westwood back when he was 20. Like doughy, like someone you could run through like easy. Like I don't fear Sung J M. Let's see when he puts on 25 years, when he's like Lee Westwood, he might be another guy. You look at him and you're like, wow, this guy's a brick shithouse. But he's a guy who's steady, I feel like he's going to be a guy who's going to be around for a while. And another thing I will say, looking at the field, not as I don't know, enticing to not as dynamic the players this week. That just a drop in quality, but I mean, certainly some names like we'll drop in our DraftKings. I keep shouting out DraftKings, but
our daily fantasy group until they sponsor us. It's the daily fantasy group.
That's how I refer to daily fantasy is DraftKings, just because that's all I play. But yeah, just some like Vijay Singh. I mean, he's in the field this week. I mean, that's love to see old timers sticking it around and giving it a go.
I mean, we just had one win this year when Stuart Sink, 47 years old, goes out after the tour championship, wins the first event of the year. Can't think of the name right now, which is awful. We'll use the old Google machine, PGAtour.com, so I can remember the event. But Safeway Open. Stuart Sink out of nowhere defeats Harry Higgs.
Yes.
Oh, brutal.
Was that a playoff?
No, it wasn't. No, he won by 2 strokes, but that was just really sad for me, because then I could have gone around and said, "Hey, I'm Harry Higgs." No one would have noticed. Probably would have had to grow out my hair a little bit more, but we kind of look alike a little bit. So I could say I'm Shane Lowry. I could say I'm Harry Higgs. One of the two. Not the biggest deal in the world, but that would have been nice. So, I mean, it is kind of getting into that daily fantasy side. It is a little bit of a different group. This does remind me of kind of, an after major event. So, we're down here. It's like for the RBC Heritage, for example, there's not like a ton of huge guys. There's the normal guys. There's like the sponsored guys who have to go to the tournament. So for example, like for the RBC, Dustin Johnson's here, Webb Simpson's here, like guys like that who are sponsored by RBC. It does remind me a lot of like after a big tournament, after a major, even though again, the Players is not the 5th major. It's not.
As Timmy said last week, though, the Players, it's best field. I mean,
it is the best field.
That was a lot of good names in it this past weekend.
Yeah, and a lot of good names crushing it too. And then a lot of good names shit in the bed. I'm talking about you, Rory McIlroy, and Tony Finau and Victor Hovland letting me down. But for this week's Daily Fantasy, we do have some pretty good names. If anyone would want to go first, otherwise I can go ahead and go first as well. But love to give you guys the opportunity. Since I went first last week, if there's someone else who wants to go first, go right ahead.
Sure. Do you want to go winner?
Might as well. Yeah. Big winner.
So we'll start at the top. I mean, I'll tell you firsthand, bought a house on Thursday, have not looked or paid much attention to the golf world or any world besides this house and everything job related. But here we go. Daniel Berger, 10,800. He's at the top.
I also have him.
He's a good player. He's been around top of leaderboards as of late. Not late, like too late, but he won a couple weekends ago, right?
He did. He won in oh god, I can't even remember.
It was like 3 weeks, like 4 weekends ago.
He didn't win the
he won the Pebble Beach. He won the Pro-Am.
Pebble Beach. That's right.
Mm-hmm. That was a nice little mid-February. So yeah.
Zach Johnson, again, another name that hopefully can just be dialed in. And I know he's not the longest player, but get around the golf course, hit some fairways, stay out of water, and we'll coast.
One of the king plotters. That's all that matters.
And then Philly. I mean, Phil Mickelson. If your lineup, I mean, create a lineup and don't copy mine. If your lineup has an older average age than my lineup, I mean, I'll be very impressed. But Phil Mickelson, and then we got Vijay Singh.
Wow.
Kevin Streelman.
Wow. Streels, great call.
Lee Westwood. Carry it on, Lee.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
2-2. He is on the train, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, let's just say I won this past week. I netted $3. $8 came to me, and I gave $5.
Oh, what a spot. What a spot right there. All right, Timbo, your turn for we're gonna hear if you can go ahead and see if we can get some relief for you.
Brendan, I feel like you're doubting you're coming at my lineup.
No, I'm coming at your lineup because we have very similar picks, which I'll get into in a second. But Timbo Slice, this is all you right now. We got this. Let's hear it.
Mike, I also hopped on that old guy train, and reason being because a lot of them are great value picks. So why the hell not pick them? First one is the 2005 winner of the Honda Classic. That is the only reason I picked him, because he is a great value and he has an Irish flag right next to his name. His name is Mr. Padraig Harrington, the British Open champion 2 times in a row.
Ryder Cup cap
this year.
He's got a little play. And speaking of that, we'll go into the next pick, and that is Mr. Steven Stricker, the other captain.
Wow.
Oh my goodness gracious. You may have the older lineup.
My fate. I remember watching Steve Stricker just in awe and the way he putts and just how good he is on the green. Next is none other than, he played well last week at a course that's not good for him, Mr. Philip Mickelson. I have him, value picks, 7,400. And then is it Kevin Mitchell? Kevin Mitchell, he came in second place last year at the Honda Classic. And so I'm going with him. Daniel Berger, I am with you 3. Daniel Berger, just you got to pick him. And second place, he finished T2 at the Masters last year. He is the highest, the favorite. I picked him. Sung Jae-im. That's the lineup.
That is a very good lineup. I like it a lot. So finally, a lineup that is probably a little bit on the younger side, I would say. Although I do have some of the older guys in here as well. So we're going to start right off. We got Daniel Berger at the top, 10,800. The dude has just been on a roll. 9 out of 10 cuts made this year, 4 top 10s, a win. He's been playing unbelievable. Like, I think, last year he really came on, and I think he's continuing that down this road. Second pick, the finest aged whiskey in all of golf.
Why not?
Lee Westwood, $10,600. Oh my God. It's Thomas the Tank Engine. We need a new color for Lee. So we have Lee, whatever color tank engine you want. Oh, he'll be out there. Just be choo-chooing all along this, baby. We got Toby, the steam engine, right behind you too. Don't worry about it. We're going for you, Lee. We're going for you. We're on your side this weekend. Number 3 right now, I got Patton Kizzire, 2 top 10s this year. He has made 12 out of 13 cuts. I think he continues that this time, and he's a great value pick, $7,500. Up next, I do have another amazing value pick that has been mentioned already, and that is Zach Johnson, currently 11 for 11 on cuts. Somehow, some way, had an impressive weekend at a tournament he does not usually does well at the Players. Had a great weekend there. Nice little 41st. This guy is not going to wow you. He has 2 top 10s this year. He's not going to wow you, but he's going to make the cut. And you want those extra 2 rounds. If you have a guy that doesn't make it, you want to make sure that, Zach is almost an automatic pick right now. Next up, I got Adam Long, 7,100, same area, kind of, I would say he's a little bit more of my kind of wild card for this week. He has 9 out of 14 cuts, but he does have 2 top 10s this year. I do think he's one of these guys that has really grown into the role, and I really like him. And this is my absolute craziest pick that I've ever made. I have Scott Harrington, $6,300. If you guys do not know who Scott Harrington is, he is a PGA. Brother? No, he is a PGA Tour rookie. He is 40 years old as a PGA Tour rookie. He has grinded on the Korn Ferry Tour for about 12 years.
Way to give him a shot, Brendan.
Away. Huh?
Way to give him a shot.
Oh my God. I love him. He just had an unbelievable week he made the cut at the Players. He probably made more last week than he had, in the last 4 or 5 years being able to play on the Korn Ferry Tour. But he ended up finishing not great. He finished 61st. But before that,
how much did he make?
Oh, I actually don't have that in front of me, but I
like that. I mean, your logic there is that he gets a nice paycheck. This week is just like gravy, and he's going in, no pressure.
Yep.
And he's grinding, so he's just taking in the fruits of his labor. It's perfect.
Exactly. So he has made less than 50% of the cuts this year, but he has made his last 3 cuts in a row, made the Pebble Beach, made the Genesis, made the Players.
Wow.
He's got this.
He's 40 and he's a rookie. I gotta check this guy out.
It's an incredible story. They did like a little bit of a thing on him last week for the Players Championship. Great story for him. He had been able to play on the PGA Tour for like a little bit here and there, but this is actually his official rookie season on the PGA Tour at age 40. Unbelievable story.
That's awesome.
And who knows, maybe your boy might reach out to him after this if he makes a nice little cut, and we could have our first guest on the podcast.
Ooh.
I have not reached out to him yet. Scott Harrington, if you're listening, which you definitely are because we are so popular, we want you in as a guest here too, so don't worry about it. But yeah, I got that pick right there, $6,300. That's kind of I took 2 guys in the upper 10s, and he just, it was too tasty not to pick. So overall, we got this week. We'll see if me and Tim, we can't do any worse, so it's only up from here. And Mike, you just decided the Champions Tour is the way to go this week, so I'm impressed.
What are you guys playing in? What are you guys playing in for tournaments? Like just
I think it's the $5 one. So last week I did the $20 one because I was like, all right, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well go all out and do it big. So
don't do a head to head and squeak by in a shitty matchup and say you won money.
Oh God, no, never. Oh,
just the $5 one, the drive to the green one.
Yep. I do the same.
50K?
Yep, 50K to the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We got some outlandish picks, so you got to make outlandish picks to get first place.
I literally think the most normal pick on here, besides like the Daniel Berger pick, is probably Mike with Kevin Streelman, because Streelman's a pretty big cut guy, makes the cut a lot, pretty consistent. Like everyone else on here, we're swinging for some fences right now, so that's great. We were
talking about Streelman last week, and he was the winner that I was working at the Travelers in 2014. The year before that was Ken Duke.
Interesting.
But, hey, I don't know. I saw his name down there, and let's give him a go, baby.
What was his cap?
7,700.
It's super low for him. I feel like he's usually in the 8s, especially at these smaller tournaments. I feel like he's a pretty big pick. So we'll see. I think that's going to be a very, very good pick, Michael. Good for you on there. Finally coming in, we're doing the Tour of the Tours. So obviously we got the Honda Classic for this week. For the European Tour, they have the Magical Kenya Open. unbelievable name for a tournament. It will be played in Nairobi, Kenya. It's the second time an event has ever been played in Kenya. It's the first of 2 back-to-back events being played in Kenya. So congrats to Kenya for getting on the European Tour schedule. Great for them. I hope they have this go off without a hitch, and it's great for all the European Tour players.
It's going to be, dare I say, magical?
It might be. Oh, no. It will be magical.
Perfect.
Corn Ferry Tour down in the Chitimata, Louisiana Open. This event was actually won by Wesley Bryan a couple of years back. He got his big break after he was on Big Break, both he and his brother. Same one as kind of crazy that Richie Wawinski was also on that season. So big thing for those guys. And so we'll see.
How do you get on Big Break?
You have to like play college golf and try out and everything like that. So I don't think we're gonna make it. We get cut at the Attleboro Area Golf Association Open, so I don't think we're gonna make Big Break.
There was a guy like many years ago who, I mean, he could golf, but he like gripped it reverse. I mean, I know that's kind of a thing, but like I think he was a righty and had left hand low on his full drive.
Yeah, that's why that might have been why he. I hope he didn't make it that far on Big Break, because that's just a poor example for the kids.
His big break is breaking his wrist. How do you swing?
Seriously.
That's incredible.
That's too funny.
Horrible. Just thinking about it, getting queasy. And finally, my favorite part of the show. We have the originator of the golfer poll on TikTok as one of our 3 co-hosts here. So we are going to go ahead and let Timmy ask Mike and I a golfer poll. We will give our answers. Timmy will give his answers. And last week was great. You
got to live up to that, Tim. That was good.
Oh no. Did we lose him?
Timmy, you're on mute. There we go.
Off mute. All right. So
we thought we lost you. We were like, oh my goodness. The final unbelievable segment, and wow. We're here.
All right. So last week was for more of like anyone can answer. This one you have to know a little bit more about golfer knowledge. And the only reason I'm doing this now is because we were talking about the fifth major and we were talking about the PGA Championship and all like that. So assuming, here we are. Here's the question for everyone here. Assuming that the best venues for the 4 locations, well, for the first 3, are the Masters, obviously it's at Augusta, the British Open. Can I assume that it would be St. Andrews is the best place? The most, okay.
100%.
The U.S. Open, Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
Can we assume that? Or is that up for debate?
It is up for debate, but that's all right.
Okay. All right. We'll say it's like that.
No, I mean, I'm on board.
All right. Now here's this question. This might sway you towards that. For the PGA Championship, in order to make the perfect 4 venues for all 4 majors in one single year, where are you having that PGA Championship?
No, that's perfect.
Michael, I did it the last time. I'm going second this time.
Anywhere in the world?
Sure. PGA Championship.
No, it's the PGA. It's the PGA.
Professional Golfers Association. It's not the Professional Golfers of America. So you can do it wherever you want.
Right. It is.
It's always been in the U.S., but they're actually talking about maybe doing it in other countries.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've heard the same. I mean, I don't know. You always hear golfers say Royal Melbourne in is it Melbourne or Melbourne in
Melbourne?
Australia?
Yeah.
In Australia?
In Australia. I've heard that's, I mean, I really don't know it in and out, but like that's one that comes.
And we don't have to come up with an answer. We can pull out a few ideas and
exactly.
This is an original one. This is not an original one. This is one I haven't posted on TikTok. I'm doing it tomorrow, so we can see what
I'm thinking real hard about this. I love that question.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Brendan, I'm going to come back with another one. What do you got, Brendan? Give me one so I can think for a sec.
Yep. I got Whistling Straits immediately. That's my pick. The last PGA championship there. Jason Day was considered one of the best PGAs ever. If that wind is coming off that Wisconsin coast fast, those scores are going to be U.S. Open level scores. And that's why they're playing the U.S. I think they're playing the U.S. Open there in a couple of years, and they're playing the Ryder Cup there this year, actually. Yeah, I think this year is the Whistling Straits Ryder Cup. I think that course can, on a good day, you could probably shoot for the big guys, mid to low 60s. But if that wind is coming out, boy, oh boy, those scores are going to be high. They are going to be very, very difficult to play. And I just love the Straits course. I think it's one of, it's definitely on my bucket list to go play it. And it kind of keeps with the idea of playing these at more public courses, because people can play public courses. It's more manageable. It's more accessible to the general public, obviously, since it's a public course. And I just think Whistling Straits is one of the best courses in America right now. I probably would have said, if you could pick the U.S. Open too, I probably would have done not Whistling Straits. For U.S. Open, I would have done Winged Foot, just because every time.
Yeah, Winged Foot came to mind.
Every time you get Winged Foot, it's bloodbath.
Marion in where is it? Philadelphia or Marion?
Marion, yes.
Not
Marion too.
Is that Pennsylvania?
Yep, that's right outside. Actually, that's pretty close to where I went to undergrad at Villanova.
Muirfield, are you thinking of?
Yeah,
Marion.
Muirfield.
No, Marion.
Marion and Marion, PA.
Yeah.
With the silly sticks that have the ball on the top instead of the flag.
Muirfield's overseas, right?
Well, that's Muirfield Village, so I'm not sure there's two of them.
But anyway, another one. Like you said, that scores are going to be low at Whistling Straits. Like, no, they're not. These guys are nuts right now. Like TPC Sawgrass -14. I mean, obviously that's not a really, really hard place, because it's probably not too windy usually. But I don't know. I mean, I was thinking, like, the argument that a lot of these golf courses are going like just away due to their small and these guys getting so long, and like Congressional back in when Rory just ran away with that. Like that's a sweet golf course. That's a sweet little setup, and that's that's in Maryland, right outside of Bethesda. I don't know, just some of these courses are cool, but like you do have to think about it, because you want it to be hard, because that's the fun golf. The U.S. Open making it impossible, but some of these courses right now are cakewalks.
Yeah, I mean, Whistling Straits does not go under that, because it's a 7,800 yard par 72. Like, it's a long course. It's on the water. It plays like a link. It is a links course. Like, I just think there are some courses, like, for example, like if we did Marion, like Bryson would crush Marion
right
now, and it's horrible because
exactly.
like he wouldn't play it the right way. Like, he would just be like, I'm gonna hit this ball 360 yards and then hit my wedge that's the size of my 2-iron out of it, and it's just annoying. Which is back to the Brendan H. Bryson club. But it's one of those things where I think Whistling Straits, because of the elements, would have a big effect on the game too, because Bryson can't hit that ball sky high like he does right now if the wind is 25 miles an hour.
Yeah,
can't play that way. He's got to play a completely different way, and then he tops the ball like we saw on hole 3 this week at the Players.
All right,
he's pulling out.
I like those.
What do you got, Timmy? What are your thoughts behind this as well?
I like the Whistling Straits pick. It's a combination of the British and the U.S. Open, hard versus the windy elements. Mikey loved the pick too. I mean, I think you're right where it should be more fun. It should be more exciting. Birdies, eagles. Let's get the scoring going. But I am going to pick this, and this has to do with COVID. And I think they should have done it at this venue this year because of COVID. Because COVID did not allow fans. And the reason why this course has never hosted a major championship and is always ranked at the top of any list of all golf courses, it doesn't have fans. It's too small to have fans. They should have done this year. The PGA Championship should have this year or next year be held at Pine Valley in New Jersey. Pine Valley, the greatest golf course in the world. That's what I'm going to say.
I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot.
He's thought about this. He's had time.
I'm playing my own game,
That's awesome.
I'm cheating. You guys had 2 seconds to think about it. I had,
That's such a good call.
But obviously they can't do it any other year. So it'd be a special one. And I'm going to go with Pine Valley. If anyone can ever get any of us to play Pine Valley, I don't know what I'd give, but that's going to be another golfer poll question.
That's great.
Obviously, you got to do a shout out to quick Pinehurst #2, Bandon Dunes, any place like that. Obviously, would be in contention, but there is nothing better than having if they had a small course like Pine Valley. Oh, it'd be so great. Oh my God. Bryson would be taking it out and trying to crush every green. It'd be hilarious. But yeah, Tim, unbelievable as always. The golf poll segment is still my favorite, and it will always be my favorite.
Keep them coming, baby.
Keep them. One day, I think, during the off season when there are no tournaments, this podcast may just turn into golfer polls just over and over and over again.
And
unbelievable.
Big break too. That's for sure.
Oh my God. Big break, Tiger documentaries. Oh, it's going to be unbelievable. That's all we got. That's what we got coming for us. So, boys, as always, it is unfortunately time to say goodbye to our lovely listeners.
2 down.
Oh, 2 down. We get a puppy cam real quick. So lovely. 2 down.
Hey, just want to say real quick that Chooch is on the train for Taylor Gooch. Here we go. Chooch likes the Gooch. Let's go.
Chooch. Hey, I was gonna say, Brendan's been hollering Taylor's name, Taylor Gooch's name. He's since the beginning. He shouted him out today earlier. Brendan's gonna, whenever he can get that in there, let people know that Taylor's at the top of leaderboards. He's gonna slide it in.
Oh my God! I can't wait to tweet Chooch for Gooch 24/7. This is going to be amazing.
I love it.
That will be coming from our accounts. And speaking of which, please, to all our loyal listeners out there, hit up the link tree that will be in our show notes for right here. We really appreciate all the support. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Hey.
Yes,
and
sir.
for those of you in the Northeast, let's get out there and really duff it up. Like, that weather's turning, and golf season is here for the average Joe.
It's coming, baby. It's been down here for the entire time.
Timmy's been golfing all friggin' winter. I mean, you check him out on TikTok. He's out there when it's snowing. It really don't matter.
Oh my God! When you hit it on the ice and you just hear the whoop, it is unbelievable.
Show us your course. Show us your course. Whoever's listening, show us your course. Let's play.
Absolutely. Once this comes around, we will be having Muni Mondays. You take a picture of the course that you are playing on the weekend. We will post that every Monday to our Instagram page in our stories saying #Muni Monday. You show us those. We'll shout you out for it too. As always, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been wonderful. I appreciate every time we do this. It's only been twice, but there's many more to come. So let's get on out there. Let's let it fly, boys. Let it fly.
Play better.